ever so slightly. Let's get into the action with this pistol round. I said into the action right now. Heading towards this B bomb site for K23. A double defense is awaiting. And along with that Molotov just to hold the attack away. Oh, it's perfectly placed. This is going to split up the T side. A lovely nade inbound instantly eliminates Norba and splits up this terrorist force. Now the USPSs are primed and ready. 3 upon B. And how are K23 going to open this one up? Toxic's already found a frag with that initial Molotov. Just piping in with the initial damage. And quite literally, he might be able to do a whole lot more here. Back to the double defense. As Sensei, he's going to head towards the middle of the map. They no longer feel like they need a stack towards B. Might be a mistake, though. Kios, he's wrapping through underpass. Trying to take a little bit of map control right now. Very slow stance for K23. They're waiting for the mistakes, and they're just not coming. Crazy. When are the peaks going to come through? Sensei, yes, he's been spotted. Glock doesn't connect. That was their opening for a first kill here. And not able to capitalize. So the flash is thrown onto this B bomb site. They're going to get nothing done, but this Glock certainly does. Kado, there's the first. And now the wrap round over towards the A bomb site. Another headshot. This time it's Kios firing on all cylinders. The USPS is trying to get back into this one with 2 frags of their own. K23 held it an arm's length, and they've only got 10 seconds left to get this bomb down and away. Cade has been pretty much counted out for 5 seconds on the board, and even with this headshot, I don't think that Sergey's going to overexpose and make a mistake. I think that takedown was actually after time. Yes, Cade. Yes, he's left with $1,000 on the board. A little less than the initial loss bonus, of course. You don't get any surviving after time, but still $1,000 in his back pocket. 1-0 for Crazy. Good start.
A very, very good start indeed, as K23 are going to fully invest into this second round. Pistols, some Kevlar on most of these players, utility all round as well, but Surges is getting super aggressive with this MP9. He's able to find himself one. He does get dinked in the meantime, so he has to fall right back. He might get shut down here by this Deagle. It is going to connect through the smoke. I think a bomb plant might...
He's connecting with at least one, and through that smoke, Sensei, he's lurking. Over with the MP9, doesn't catch out the reload, and Neelan's back with the Deagle. That almost is 3. As Mo wants to finish things through, he's unable to do so. 2-0 for Crazy. Bit of an awkward round right there. Without the kit, Psycho, he's got more than enough time. It's going to be quite close, but he's obviously got this second round. Wouldn't say that that's the cleanest. No Sillet Bang action for Crazy, but 2-0, assertive lead.
Managed to tip it over the edge. Going into round number 3 as well. They've got plenty of cash behind them. They're actually not wasting any time here. Not saving any of those MP9s. They go straight into this one with rifles all round and AWP on Sensei. For now, K23, they're bombarding loads of utility over towards A. They want to pull that mid-rotation to support, and then they're going to take this mid-control. Very, very smart play.
That is an absolute shutdown, leaving just Mo versus the world in a 1 versus 4. He's only got the Galil to punch through a little bit of damage. I actually quite like this force buy from K23. It just doesn't work out. And the bomb completely in the open means Mo instantly has to go for these frags. I don't think he's going to be given the opportunity to do so. An AKM4 in AWP, that deadly trio of rifle rounds. And realistically, with 40 seconds left, what does Mo do here? Maybe he tries to die to level out the economy on this K23 side. You never want it being polarized going into round 5. I do want to touch on that buy there. Obviously, they invest pretty much all Galils across the board. It does make sense considering that second round, they found 3 kills worth of damage. That bomb plant as well gives them a little bit of extra money. Obviously, if K23 would have won this third round, it would have forced an eco into the next. You can see how disastrous the economy is for Crazy. It doesn't work out. A Galil saved. No success thus far for K23. They show up a little late to this best of 1.
That was actually a near perfect round from Crazy there. I really, really liked what they did. K23, they showed promise in that initial stage where they actually threw all that utility onto A. It pulled that rotation from the window player to help out in jungle, and then it meant that K23 could actually take all of that control. The issue is that as they were creeping up into connector, they just got spotted out by that FAMAS playing on stairs, and all of a sudden, as soon as that info is relayed, there's nothing more they can do. A fantastic flick from Sensei is going to open things up. An early aggression from Demku, I thought just might find him a kill. In fact, it's going to do the absolute opposite. Norbert as well with that deagle. They somehow managed to not only take mid control, but actually take a man advantage. They might be able to retrieve a weapon off of this as well. Psycho needs to go big. If he can convert this second, it might just turn the tides of the round. Unable to do so, K23 maintain this man advantage and should be able to get the bomb down on A.
You've got to be very hyper aware of this K23 pistol power. They've got the firepower to really rattle through with any of these rounds, but the M4 also falling. Psycho's got a lot of work to do in the 1 versus 3. He's split up these K23 members. Still Norbert towards mid, but he can cover this bomb from short. There's almost no opportunity for a retake right now without the kit in hand. And that's just the issue with having not a lot of money in your back pockets. Is K23, they're going to force the instant punish. Psycho might even go down here. There's the AWP picked. Does finally fall. So there's an opportunity to grab a sniper rifle back in hand. Completely shut away for Kiosk. He can now grab the AWP for himself. And K23 a perfect round with the pistols. That's their first.
Well, that is a devastating round for Crazy to lose, especially after converting that buy round from K23. You think you're kind of in the clear and you're able to put your 4th on the board. That one just falls away. Really, really rough stuff. They're going to force into this one. Of course, with that AWP not saved as well, Sensei has to reinvest for one. That smoke's going to make matters a whole lot worse. Tries to connect one through the smoke, not going to happen. Still a 5 versus 5 as K23 gain a whole load of control. And with the money that they have, makes this a lot easier.
The big mistake was that AWP and window just overexposing to the Desert Eagle. If you're further away from an angle in Counter-Strike, you can actually see more of your opponents than he can see of you. It's exactly what happens even with the sniper in hand. And only a $700 investment knocks $6,000 off the Crazy bank accounts. And now they're forced onto, well, a full force by Neelan, 1, and a headshot on the 2nd as well. That's a lot of damage early in this 5th. K23 should be able to pounce off the back of this. Already edging onto this A bomb site. Kios has a lot of map control. Sergis has no idea that he's being wrapped in from behind, and all of these angles are just being covered and countered. And if Kado finds this frag, it leaves the whole of this A bomb site totally open. I feel like Circus needs both of these kills here to throw a spanner in the Mercs, but oh, just the 1. Don't think that's good enough. The bomb can now go onto this A bomb site, get planted, and the rifles all around from K23. Crazy need a showstopper to end this one.
Well, it's a fantastic shot nonetheless. Sensei needs to convert this one. 2 spots the arm, can't quite land it. In the meantime, Demq's found himself a headshot with that deagle, but well, with that CT pincer falling, Demq's position now known as well. Just a deagle, not even any Kevlar for him to work with here. So many angles for him to clear out as well. Timing's actually working out perfectly for him, but I still don't think there's any chance of him doing this one. With no kit as well, he has to just get on this bomb. He comes off of it as he's being spammed away. Norbert's going to swing out, should be able to find both here, and that's going to be exactly the case. K23 convert their second round. That one ended up being quite costly for them. But Crazy are finally down to what I assume will just be a full eco from everybody here. K23 have a fantastic opportunity to level out this scoreline.
Good start. Initial trio pans out perfectly for Crazy. Just see this T side now starting to assert this pressure. That superior firepower becoming slightly obvious in the last pair of rounds, just with the Deagles, and then following through against a force buy of Crazies. Easy information gained at the start. This is only USPSs for the CT side. Shouldn't be able to do too much here. Remember, the break even in a round like this is finding 2 kills worth of damage. If you drop 1 or 2 of those rifles, that's exactly what you want to be doing. Not allowing this K23 economy to just blossom out of control. And well, to the contrary, Neelan's going to be getting aggressive through connector. He's got the MAC-10 at the ready. Just trying to be the aggressive point man to sweep away some of these frags. And realistically, should be able to do so with a pair of players tucked inside window room. Jungle position as well. Bit of a crossfire here for him to break. They do decide to go through connector. But this looks to be a fairly standard B-split. Already the pressure being applied. Just sending that MAC-10 in first to clear the corners. And the AK-47s towards the A-bomb site should be able to just find everything. Good round from Mo. Ends any danger of these pistols doing anything. And this is going to be a very easy third for K23.
It absolutely will be. It can be very tempting when you know you're up against a full eco to try and go for something quick. Instead, these guys are just playing their normal setup. Sergid's actually going to be able to find himself 1 onto Neelan. Might give him a weapon to work with. It's only a MAC-10, of course. I don't think Neelan would have been over-aggressing like that if he had anything else to work with. I don't even think they bring that MAC-10 into the next round. They'll probably just reinvest. They've got plenty of money to buy up an M4 instead of it. Very nice shot from Mo as well. These pistols just being put to bed. Ooh, no.
Wow.
That's the AWP gone. That's going to be a big reinvestment. They can't retrieve that. That is rough.
That's a real big issue. You ideally don't want to be taking those fights, and when you do, you need to be hitting those shots. Unable to do so, that's $5,000 down the drain for K23. I don't think they're going to be too pressured, as they've put the CTs backs against the wall. Their buy is far weaker. A lack of utility here on round number 7. Yes, they do have a flurry of smokes, but those Molotovs do become the issue for the CT side. On top of this, the money is incredibly low. Good opportunity for K23 to force another eco in the 8th, get up to a 5th round here. And let's see how Crazy responds with the 5 rifle setup. No AWP for the CT side. So no real coverage towards the middle of the map, just kind of holding it at bay from connector. Gives a lot of map control to K23. Lack of information from Crazy. These rounds just get so much harder to take over the top.
Well, Crazy. They came out the gates really hot. They put down those first 3 rounds. They were looking fantastic. But it's very, very easy off the back of losing a deagle buy from K23 for things to level out again. And quite frankly, even though it's 3-3, things aren't all level. Crazy's buy right now is significantly weaker than that of K23, and well, that shows. They burst right out onto this B site. They're bombarded with flashes. I think Crazy go for this save call early, but Norbert, he's already here in Palace to try and eliminate these CTs, deny them from saving these rifles. If he's able to do that, this would be absolutely huge. He spots them both out. The trigger discipline's there, but he's only good for 1. Nonetheless, this is going to be another free round for K23, and I think they actually hunt further here. They have plenty of money behind them to reinvest. They certainly don't want to be losing that AWP, but they could expend another AK just to try and take away these M4s. To be honest, though, if Crazy saved these M4s, what are they even going to be able to pull out? They might be able to drop a couple of rifles with their money that they save, of course. They could drop a couple of rifles with that loss bonus that they have now. But even then, there's no utility. You'd have a player without a gun. This is by very, very far away from a good buy.
No, absolutely not. Norba is so just evil there, looking in from the palace. He's pretty much like just Freddy Krueger, just showing up in crazy streams. They look upwards and he's just stood there with a big claw hand to rip at least one face off. 4-3. Good lead here from K23. See no real investment, and one of those rifles already gonzo for this side. I love that reactive shot there. Cade's got the better spawn. He decides to pick up the AWP, and he's good enough to nail that quick shot. Psycho's just instantly taken. Of course, it's a retrievable M4A4, but that's one of the sets of Kevlar gone as well. So Crazy with fairly minimal investment, already down a player. This is looking like an obvious 5th round for K23, and they're applying the pressure where it really hurts on this T side, just attacking the B bomb site most of the time. And you see that Crazy don't have a great read on this situation. They know nothing about this mid control from K23. It's already coming into play. Nice nade stack. Isn't actually going to nail anything, but all of the base is covered for this terrorist half.
I actually really like the call here from Crazy to not invest around those rifles. It does mean that the save is deemed pretty redundant as long as K23 don't make some huge mistake here. It definitely means that they have enough to buy into the next. Right now, K23, they're just having a field day. They're finding every single headshot. Sensei is able to respond with one. He might be able to get another onto Norba here as well. That's not going to be the case for now. Demq's going to find one more. Crazy actually making this one quite costly for K23, but they've got plenty of money in the bank. I don't think they'll mind all too much. A crucial shot for Mo to hit, and that's going to be the round all said and done. K23 put their 5th on the board, rack up that cash massively as well. Look at this. Every player sitting above 5k right now. This is going to be another buy-up for Crazy. The AWP's available for Sensei. This is really their first time in the last few rounds that they've been able to contest this one. They've either been on ecos, force buys, or the last time they actually pulled out a buy, they had no AWP available. There was very limited utility. So this is the first time since probably round number 4 that they've been able to pull out a proper buy and contest this round in K23.
Feels like this AWP is getting maximum impact on the K23 side. Mo is pretty much threatening a frag at the start of every single round. Last time we saw Kato head towards mid, find that opening shot. This time it was the boost from Mo. And this shot, and that might have been an opportunity for both squads. Psycho instantly drops, and that becomes a problem for Crazy. Now forced down to just 4. This spreads out the defense, and I don't think this nade's going to find its target towards the top of mid. Ooh. Does eliminate Neelan. That is fairly flawless. Probably should have been backtracking in that scenario, but that is quite the way to trade.
That's actually such a cool lineup there. Instead of just kind of blind throwing it and hoping it goes over the box, he lined it up with a point on the wall. Then ran into that smoke and let go of it. Perfect nade to take care of his target. Levels things out into a 4-on-4 now, but with 40 seconds on the clock, K23 need to start making their move. They've left the bomb behind at spawn. They're all spread around on this slow default, and with Crazy still with 2 smokes, actually a 3rd that's just been expended, they can slow this one down even further. Sensei finds himself another kill, brings the numbers back in their favor. The info's gained that there's a flanker. There's no element of surprise. Kios converts the kill nonetheless, but 18 seconds on the clock now. K23 need to speed this one up. Toxic's going to deny the rotation of the bomb, and this might just be enough. Sensei, he is last alive in a 1 versus 2. He has to deny this plant. Otherwise, K23 are in a favorable position to take this one.
Oh, there is the first, and now an opportunity to close onto Kios. Hiding behind these double boxes. Needs to go for some sort of swing here on the CT side, and running out of time considering he doesn't have the kit in hand. Trying to pump these wallbangs through. Nothing connecting as of right now. Kios, he's up close and personal. When is he going to make this swing? There's the jump. No scope misses. And there's Kios to close. 6-3. K23 off to a really good start here on Mirage. Definitely looking like the dominant force here. And realistically, they're doing absolutely everything right. The minimum scoreline is Neelan here. He's got 6 kills. Everybody else on 7, with the exception of Kios on 10. And Crazy just not putting up those sorts of numbers. Really struggling to get the frags firing here in the first half. Now the AWP once again. It's Sensei to connect. Actually a scout.
Sensei's been pretty consistent so far this game, landing some really nice shots. We saw him put up some work in the last round, just unfortunately unable to convert it with that no scope. Can always be very, very temperamental. With this man advantage though, to be honest, I can't imagine they do a whole lot with it. That weapon's completely unretrievable. If they could grab that AWP, then 100% they've got a chance in this round. But with just the Deagles and a scout, and they face up against a full buy, I think K23 are just going to play this one methodically, regroup, play this numbers game. You don't want to be getting picked off one by one. When you're against a Deagle buy like this, if you go for your slow default and you try and take these Angels, even though you're favoured with the firepower, there's always a chance that they land a headshot. DemQ's in a good position here. They're actually all in good positions to shut this one down. They just have to make sure timing works out for them. And Kios, he is going to check it, but he gets taken down anyway. DemQ finds himself a kill, potentially an AK, and Sergis is doing even more damage. This is now doable for Crazy.
Deagle shoots in for one more. As Neelan has to get it all done in the 1 versus 4. Now only 3 remaining. Psycho the first to drop, but with a couple of retrieved rifles. That's a big mistake from Demk. Instantly overexposes and gives Neelan a way back into this 10th round. Only 10 seconds on the board. Sensei still stuck towards the CT spawn. He's going to try and force the man out. There's the damage. Needs the frag. 26 HP. 1 bullet required. Neelan finds all 4 here in round number 10. Puts K23 onto a 7th. Crazy down in the doldrums once again. Let's look at these frags another time. There's the key mistake. Gives him an open door into this 1 versus X situation. Zoxico as well, just making key mistakes all across the board for Crazy. That has to be a heartbreaker.
It really, really does. It's a round that you're not necessarily expecting to win, but when you bring it down into a 1v4, you just have to close it out, and instead they make these mistakes. They peek in 1 by 1. And I mean, that is just a key example, in fact, just a perfect example of how not to play that situation. When you're in a 1 versus 4, you win it every single time as long as you don't peek in 1 by 1. And they basically just fed him that clutch in that scenario. Allows K23 to get onto 7. Puts them in a really comfortable position right now. 4-round lead. They should almost certainly be able to come away on top in this half. Goodbye from Crazy here to work with. The shot connects, but he can't quite convert the kill. Psycho's able to find himself one in the meantime. Actually, tons and tons of damage dealt onto K23 here. 2 players sitting below 20 HP. These M4s should be able to mop them up. Still a 4v4 nonetheless, though.
More importantly, this bomb is dropped inside the connector. That was an ill-advised peek from Neelan. Obviously, feeling it from the previous 1vx situation might have given away a big opportunity here in the 11th. There's the initial nade. Probably won't connect with too much damage here. Absolutely blunders. And now how is K23 going to get back into this one? Psycho, good angle. There's the first. Norba's probably going to get caught off guard as well to this second man. Great bait setup. As they like to say in the gaming communities, Jay. Great bait, mate. All right, 8 out of 8. Is that what the kids say? Am I hip? Am I cool?
I don't think so. Maybe like cool. Australians. That sounded kind of Australian. I don't think that's what the cool kids say, though.
I'm severely disappointed.
Nonetheless, a very, very nice round from Crazy. And I think the important factor is not only do they keep several players alive, but they can carry some AKs into this round as well. They didn't have a lot of money behind them. So if that came down to a 1v1, something like that, they wouldn't have a lot of money to reinvest here. Instead, they're able to retain this orb. The rifles, plenty of utility as well, but Sensei just gets spotted around the edges of that smoke and surges. He's then right out in the open. I'm not sure about that one, just desperately trying to level out those numbers. He gets double-faced. And now a 2 make that a 3-man advantage for K23. They should just be able to tip this round over the edge.
Aggressive swing through the molly. Doesn't pay dividends. Pretty much the round over here. And number 12, K23, back to winning ways, up to 8. Bomb can very easily go down in the safety of this A bomb site. Zoxic, what's he going to do? Probably just try and save this AK-47 right here. This half is falling apart, it seems, for Crazy. Having a really hard time against the favorites in this particular map. And realistically, I think it is just a firepower disparity here. K23, they're hitting all of their shots. You see that 1 versus 4 coming through. A couple of mistakes from Crazy, obviously costing them dearly. Here, I think even without the wild clutch situations, K23 would be fairly far ahead. Kazakhstani side, obviously, doing a lot of good work here. And one headshot, Cade. He's just ready for that angle.
That was absolutely crisp. A bounce back round like that might not affect you as much as it would have done back in the day, of course, where your loss bonus would then be completely reset after you'd won a round and then lost again. However, mentally, it's got to play on your head. Yeah, you're losing quite badly, and then you pull back around in the buy, and you're like, okay. And it was actually a very convincing round as well. They kept 4 players alive. They shut it down completely, and they're like, right, okay, this is something we can work with. Let's try and pull this back now. It's only 7-4. We can close out these next 3 and still have a good half. And then for K23 to just come straight back into the next round, full guns blazing, and completely decimate your defenses. I mean, they've got money to buy into this one, but I don't think they're going to be too happy about that. And actually, yeah, 2 FAMASs coming out. They will be able to get the utility. As that timeout fades away, K23 looking to put their 9th down. And if they can do so, they should be able to go for 10 as well. This would be a very, very dominant half. If Crazy convert this one, they've still got an opportunity to take it to an 8-7. I think more likely it might go 9-6. This is really a must-win round for them, though. Otherwise, they are going to be giving K23 far too many rounds for this T side on Mirage.
I could certainly see this being double digits for the Kazakhstani crew. Looking like not a guaranteed 10, but at the 90-second mark, it is time to shine for Crazy if they're going to bring this back. Not an ideal buy, as you said. A couple of FAMASs here and there. Of course, that AWP on Sensei with a little bit of Kevlar as well. This really has to be a 7 to 8 half if they have much of a chance. I love this Molotov combination. We've been seeing it many times from K23, and it's really just locking Crazy into place in this ladder room. You see that Dem just cannot move downwards. It means there's only one angle that he can sit from, and that AWP just pitches in for damage. Unfortunately, doesn't find the frag. B site taken. Now forcing the retake scenario. The MAC-10's going to fly up above. Sensei is gone. There's the AWP to be picked. And now, not so even situation any longer. The FAMASs, how are they going to get back into this one? It might be time to save for Crazy once again. Just held it bay by the mollies. A 9th on the board for K23. And this is looking like a little too hot to handle on this first half, and I really can't see them slowing down. K23, we know how good their CT side is. We saw them on Mirage just a few days ago where they posted a big double-digit half. We talked about their CT side before this match, Jay, saying they had a pro 70% win rate on this one. 9-4, you can tell why.
Absolutely. Such a fantastic win rate on Mirage itself. They do heavily favor this T side, so you would be expecting them to put up this kind of scoreline. If they can take it 10-5, 11-4, though, I think that might just seal the deal for them. Crazy, they have managed to pull out a half decent buy here, despite the fact that they lost the last. Still an AWP available as well on Sensei, so they're managing their economy well. Of course, they have this loss bonus built up, so it's not as hard. They need to just start putting some rounds on the board, though. That's really their issue here. They can get the kills, they can get the weapons out, but unless they're converting these rounds, they're going to be heavily behind. I love this run boost coming through. Might be able to find something. That's not going to be the case. Sensei actually finds a kill on Takeda as well in the meantime. Gives them a man advantage. Psycho with another. This is the crazy that we need to be seeing. If they take this round, they have a chance to go for the 9-6, and that would be a pretty decent half. Just need to tip this one over the edge. Make sure they don't throw this two-man advantage away.
That's much easier said than done against a T-side like this. We see the crank coming into place on the B-bomb site. AWP applying the pressure from short. There's nobody within ladder room, so I don't think Crazy's going to get this information until it's a little too late. Mo just going for the swing inside. I don't think he actually makes any footsteps there, so still no info granted for Team Crazy. Now the smokes are going to go away. Nice Molotov from Sensei. And the AK is going to go straight on in here. Zoxic almost gets caught in the rear by the AWP. Has to bounce back onto B with this M4A4 and finally getting taken down here. Still 20 seconds on the clock. Psycho's been spotted. Neelan wants to turn this corner. Instead, misses the kill. It's Mo versus everybody right now. And he's just running out of time. Running out of HP. But Crazy, more importantly, they're running out of rounds. 9-5. Good lead from K23. Still an opportunity for double digits here, considering this is a fairly wholesome buy from K23 before this one comes to a close. Well, fairly wholesome buy as well from Crazy in the last. This isn't looking too bad, Jay.
It really isn't. It's unfortunate that K23 couldn't find those final kills on that B-bomb site. The entries were fantastic. Actually, to give them an opportunity to get in and almost get that bomb plant. Sensei tries to open things up this round with an aggressive play over towards Connector, but just hitting the leg shot means he has to fall back. Surge is getting aggressive over towards Ramp. He's going to be punished, and actually they get pincered from all angles. Mo's even cutting off the short rotation. He is going to get traded, but he manages to take a man with him beforehand, and I don't see any way in for Toxic here. He's actually landed himself two very nice kills. Neelan is low, and if he can bring this into a 2-on-1, it becomes very doable. That's exactly what he does. K23 have to be careful now. They've got good positions for this. That Molotov's going to slow things down even further. Kios has given his position away. That high flash not going to affect anyone. Toxic's actually just charging straight through this. Maybe not. Now he does. Going to take his life away. Kios perfectly waiting on the other side of that smoke, anticipating that aggression in K23. Put their 10th on the board. A 10-5 half is absolutely fantastic for them.
Just maximum impact with that utility for K23 on the A-bomb site there in the after plan. Lovely placing that smoke Molotov combination into connector. There's just nothing you can do if you're Zoxic. He needs an ace in that scenario and just unable to get onto that A-bomb site at all, one bit. 10-5. Just a great first half from K23. Really starting us off strong here in Group C. Just all across the board, it's double digits from top to bottom. Only Norba trailing the pack on still 9 kills, so nothing to criticize there. Just doesn't look as pretty as 10, 11, 12, or 15. Whereas Crazy, they've got 4 players in this sub-double digits marker, albeit the kill disparity isn't actually that wide. If you tallied up the kills, I feel like Crazy are probably only 5 or 6 kills behind this Crazy pack right now, but it's obviously not the kills that matter. It's the scores on the doors at the top of your screen, and 10-5 is a real decent first half.
I actually feel like a lot of kills have been coming through from Crazy, but a lot of the rounds haven't been all too close. Like in the last, for example, where actually it was just absolute domination and it was like a 5 versus 1 situation. And I think it was actually Psycho to just find himself a couple back, managed to get like 3 kills there. but there was no real chance of him winning that round, so those kills were just completely unimpactful. Right now, this pistol round becomes very, very important for Crazy. They're 5 down. If they can convert it, they have a chance of closing this gap. If they can't, then they're massively on the back foot. And they've walked straight into this A bomb site, got the bomb down before finding a single kill. Sensei finally able to convert one, but the retake starts to come through. Norbert's looking for this one. He's actually right on the bomb site. Sensei should be able to take him down, but he can't. And Crazy have got far too aggressive here. They're miles away from this bomb, and Norbert's actually going to go for the stick.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Oh, just about.
Doesn't get away with it. That is going to be a 6th for Crazy on the board. Real messy situation there. I feel like we see K23 going for a ninja defuse in almost every pistol round. That just seems to be the go-to tactic for them. Doesn't work out this time. And wow, look at these odds reflect that first half. Massive lead here for K23. 1.1 to 5.9. Incredibly one-sided stuff as we get into the second half. I feel like Crazy have a slight chance, but I think those odds might be kind of realistic right now. See that they do bounce back slightly off the rear of that pistol. An opportunity, though, for K23 to bounce instantly back on the board with the force buy. Double scout. I think triple deagle here. Neelan, yes, he's got a deagle as well. Sometimes hard to see. They like to show those pretty knives in the HUD. Nevertheless, I think it has to be the scouts to deliver the punching power here on the 17th. He's going to be the first man just peering into underpass, now backtracking to cover connector. Realistically, nobody from K23 needs to get too aggressive here. They can wait for Crazy to force themselves between whatever potential crossfires do lie in wait. And the B bomb site seems to be the more difficult angle right now. Neela not turning back for that flash. A little bit awkward, but Sergey instantly takes him away. Now the double deagles, only able to find 2, and there's another one. Kios applying the pressure on all regards. He's still standing, and only Sensei to break into this B bomb site.
Oh,
Big whiff.
what?
Mo capitalizes. That's massive. Leaves just the UMP on his lonesome, and Mo, he's isolated himself into the apartments. This is a crossfire. There's the headshot and an 11th for K23.
Such mental shots from some of these players. That flick from Mo, I'd love to see that from his POV. That must have been absolutely mental. To have the reactions like that and then actually the aim to deliver as well off of it. Absolutely incredible. On top of that as well, I think seeing those odds at the start of the round, I definitely favour K23 for this game. I thought Crazy had a better chance than maybe the odds reflected, especially off the back of K23 being on a sketchy force there. Had Crazy converted it, they take it 10-8, and then they're really back in this one. But off the back of losing it, yeah, I think those odds are pretty correct now. K23 right back in the driving seat, a 5-round lead. They've got a better buy here as well, and if they can convert this round, it forces Crazy down to a full eco, put them onto, well, 13-6. This should be an easy game for K23 to close out now. We have seen previously them actually have some issues closing out games. I recall a couple of series back, seeing them struggle in those later rounds, actually allowing their opponents to pull it back. Personally, I don't see that happening here. They're looking very, very strong on Mirage, and I just can't say the same for Crazy.
Me neither. Minute left. The smokes do go down for a little bit of mid control here as the A pincer wants to come into full force. Crazy with this 2-3 setup. Obviously a prompt from Palace as well, but K23 are quite nicely set up to deal with this one. There's the prod towards short, even finding that first frag. As Crazy get cut apart once again. An opportunity for a flawless round here for the favorites. That would put them 12-6 up, massively ahead in terms of the economy, and losing one isn't realistically too costly here. The M4 doesn't get picked, so has to keep alive at MP9 in this next, but realistically, pretty good round here, all things considered. 12-6, doubling this scoreline, and Crazy actually eating their first tactical timeout of the map.
It's not a bad time to use one. I think they'll be discussing what they're going to do in the next round to try and pull this one back. Keeping that MP9 on Kado as well is no real detriment. They're going to be against a full eco. If anything, it might just be a blessing in disguise. Gives them an opportunity to rack up some cash before going into the buy round. Crazy don't actually have any money here to invest anything. Sometimes in these scenarios, you see players with sort of 2,500. Maybe you see a couple of players on 3K and they can buy up a Deagle and it gives you somewhat of a lifeline into a round like this. Right now, there's absolutely nothing. Just the Glocks as they head over towards B. I think there's a huge chance they just get completely shut down here. And if they do, K23, they give themselves such a lead that they'd seriously have to throw away like several buy rounds in a row to not convert this game. Keo's just getting spotted out with that Galil. He can fall back with the support of his teammate Mo though, and with no utility, this becomes completely impossible for Crazy to take that mid control. And instead they fall right back. They might try their luck over towards A.
Luck is probably the key word here with Fox. It's going to be 13-6 more than likely. Worst case scenario, 9 gets... It's an opportunity to shine and just quite a bit of damage dealt. Flawless round. Absolutely nothing their way.
Wow, an absolute bloodbath on mid to open things up and further kills coming through. A fantastic response from Psycho to take out Kios there, though. Dead through the smoke. Clinical aim. Now it's all just down to Kado and Norbert to try and pick up the pieces in this one. AK's going to be retrieved. There's a kit there as well that he could have picked up. Instead, decides against it. Norbert's really the key man in this round. He needs to step up and find these frags. If he's unable to do so, Crazy will be able to get onto this A bomb site, and that's pretty much game over. He's in such a difficult position, but as he swings out, he's actually able to find one, converts a second as well, spins around for the third, deals tons of damage, but can't quite convert it. Definitely puts Kado in a favourable position here, though, to clutch this one out, and he's there just in the nick of time to catch Toxic on the cross. An incredible round from Norbert to hold that one up and tip it just over the edge. Look at this, backs against the wall, converts those two all-important frags and spins around for the third. Incredible stuff. Just the piston investment now then for Crazy. Not a whole lot they can do in this one. We have seen them deal some significant damage with these pistols, especially with the aim like that on Psycho. Gives them a man advantage now. That AK isn't really retrievable. He could actually go for it, no one would take him out, but you have to massively overextend to find it. Dempsey actually found himself another. This becomes very doable for Crazy when they're able to pick off these kills like this. And he's even found himself a second. Kios is able to find a refrag back, but takes tons of damage in the meantime. Crazy are now able to get onto this B bomb site. And I think K23 actually just go for this save. This is absolutely mental. This was the opportunity for K23 to just get onto match point. Just against the pistols. Somehow Crazy have managed to tip it over the edge with some incredible aim on two of these players. They deny their opponent's match point. Gives them an opportunity to try and close this gap. Of course, they've got to be 7, 8 rounds in a row to get this done. But it's still possible for now.
Absolutely possible. But realistically, only the one round on the board. 14-7. A couple of rifles saved as well. Means a fairly wholesome buy in the next round for K23. Of course, an AWP and an M4 thrown into action. And we'll see a whole lot more in terms of the investment here to try and close out Mirage for the favorites. I do heavily expect them to close this out right here. Obviously only needing 2 more to close this map. And this is a best of 1. There's no second or third maps to fall back on here. And I actually do think that all across the map pool, this would be a very similar scene, Jay, if we went to an Overpass, a Dust 2, any of these fan favorites here for K23, and all of the information given away towards B. Kiosk, he's got the perfect flank here. He does get checked. A nice flash actually keeps him alive temporarily. A 1-for-1 trade, and Kiosk does have to backtrack.
Okay, K23 seem a little bit slow on these rotations, and Crazy are capitalizing on it. They've taken their sweet time to actually get onto the site and go for this plant, though, and that's their detriment. Norbert's already round to the pillar. He's able to deny it. K23 should be able to get onto match point here as well, as they're right behind enemy lines. They can shut this one down, put themselves onto 15. Crazy will have the money to invest into this one, but their backs are against the wall, and they need 8 consecutive rounds to take this one to overtime.
Yeah, I really can't see it happening at this point. 15-7. This just looks like a symptom of very one-sided Counter-Strike from K23, just proving themselves to be the far superior team in this one. They've absolutely rattled home Mirage, and now they only need 1 on, realistically, that favorable side to close this off. It's going to be mid to try and get the job done here. Psycho's the first to fall, despite a lot of messiness with the shots. 15-7, should be going to 16 right now. K23, I think, just penciling their name into the upper brackets. That's a cider match, which will obviously pass next, Jay. That'll be an exciting one after the best of ones come to their conclusion. But getting finished off here, Sensei's barely got any health to work with. Only the Galil to try and open up connector. This is a perfect angle from Kiosk as well. I think this is going to be the shut away. Mo's even trying to take pop shots through the smoke. These are so close. They're actually just a whisker away from him. I'm not sure how none of those connect. Sergey's going to wait for this to dissipate and now make his way through, but it's still being watched. There's the headshot, and that should really just seal the deal.
Toxic and Sensei now, I think they have already accepted their fate. Now we're going to try and head over towards B, see if Toxic can land a headshot onto these 2 players, and if he can do so, then they can get the bomb down. There's definitely an opportunity, but it's a lot easier said than done. They're in very difficult positions to clear. Effectively, he'd have to drop down to actually find Kiosk. That would definitely put him in a very disadvantageous position. He is able to swing and find himself the kill. Nilan trades it nonetheless, and Sensei is left in a 1-on-4 just with his orb. He drops down, actually lands a fantastic shot. This gives him an opportunity to get this bomb down, but with only 2 points of health, all the enemies closing in on him. Can't land the flick. It's going to be K23 to find their 16th as they close out this best of 1, 16-7. Very dominant fashion, and they'll be your team